This is what we all are afraid of accessing in daily life, not in our dream time, because there we are in access with, we are in contact with it all the time. But the subconscious is where our real self, authentic self, through our sensations, through our emotional body, not least, are dwelling. Sounding is beyond singing because you don't need to have a melody, you stay on pitch or anything. It's like an intuitive flow of using your voice so that what is our potential and our hidden suppression can be revealed. This is a weekend I've never experienced before in my life. I can stand for myself. I'm being heard. I can express my suppression. I dare to do it. I don't need to carry my chronic headache or lower back pain or whatever any longer. I have tools now to start to unravel and dismantle all this physically and emotional.
Hey everyone, it's Sophia from Sacred You. Thank you so much for being here. A quick message before we dive into today's conversation. You may have been watching the podcast videos but have not had a chance to hit that subscribe button. So if you have ever gained value from our videos, from our conversations, it would mean so much to us if you would hit that subscribe button below right now, or even just give us a like. And what that means is not only does it allow us to grow our subscriber base, but it allows us to bring in more important guests for you to listen to. And you will be one of the first ones to be notified. So please hit that subscribe button and let's get started on today's conversation.
Welcome to Pathways to Wellbeing, presented by Sacred You, a global community designed to empower women all over the world. Today, I have Karina Schelde here with me. Karina, welcome.
Thank you so much, Ellen.
You're very welcome. It's great to, this topic that we're talking about today, I'm really, really interested in unpacking and getting to know a lot more about it. So Karina is an internationally acclaimed teacher, a pioneer of a groundbreaking therapeutic voice and sound healing modality called soul voice. She has a professional background and qualifications in bodywork, counseling, breathwork, shamanic healing, and acting. Where did that fit in? That's like you've got all of these beautiful spiritual things, and then acting. Is that linked to the voice modality?
Yeah. Like acting was my first education, and the acting education was very related to embodiment. We were working with comedy dell'arte, masks, and neutral mask, so that you really come into your body. It was not talking therapy, but really coming from this, what we alternatively call the chi center, there where everything originates from. So this helped me also with getting this deep therapeutic work that I'm doing into, I would say, more playful and more light, because it's a very serious, it's a very deep, because working with sound goes directly to the subconscious. This is what we all are afraid of accessing in daily life, not in our dream time, because there we are in access with, we are in contact with it all the time. But the subconscious is where our real self, authentic self, through our sensations, through our emotional body, not least, are dwelling. So anyhow, that subconscious energy is also related to our chi, that what I also call our soul center. So at a very early age, in my early 20s, which is a couple of years ago, I took this acting education. Nobody just went from Denmark, where I come from originally, and into Paris and take a 4 years education and just, where are you going? I did it. And I'm so grateful for that today. Yeah. And I use it in my workshop in a form already in my beginner's workshop, therapeutic acting, that is, acting combined with therapy, a modality, an exercise, or a technique that I have created myself.
So tell me a little bit about this technique that you've created, soul voice. How would you describe that to somebody who's never heard of this before?
Well, first and foremost, it's available for anybody who has a voice. If you have a voice, you can sound. You may not say you can sing, but doing this work, you could easily come to to sing as well on key. But it is using your voice as a tool to self-development through sounding. Is this a non-linear language that we use maybe often spontaneously when we cry, when we just make a sighing sound? This is already a sound. So sounding is beyond singing because you don't need to have a melody, you stay on pitch or anything. It's like an intuitive flow of using your voice so that what is our potential and our hidden suppression can be revealed, because we are the shadow and we are the light. So it's an excellent tool, a gateway to come into this, what is hidden. And I suppose all self-development work wants to come deeper and deeper into this, what we cannot just take up in daily life. So it is sounding, it is freeing your over control over how shall I sound. There's no judgment, there's no false note or wrong key or sound in the soul voice work. So you can put your judgment on vacation while you're doing this, so that anything that wants to stream, to flow, is a waterfall, I call it, out of you can be expressed. And then, as you have done that, listening. Listening is a very important key to the soul voice method, because without listening, we cannot hear ourselves, we cannot become a good communicator. When you listen to the sounds that are coming out of you, your higher self or your heart, your soul, will start to talk to you from your inner voice, from this, what we call our higher self, our inner voice. And you will be so surprised, both what you can express in sound language as well as what you hear. Wow. And it's always closer to the truth when you have given this free sounding, you could say, out.
Clients who, I know you said if anyone can do this, who are the people who are coming to you? What are their biggest problems in life?
Some people doesn't have a lot of problems, which I also appreciate. That means they may be a therapist in body work, in acupuncture, in breath work, and any other modalities, and they want to get more. It's like the way I have done and synergized the soul voice method into this unique method brings them to a new level of what they have already experienced and are already accredited in. I have, I believe, succeeded in synergizing so many levels of the human consciousness, of the human dimensions and bodies, mentally, psychically, psychologically, emotionally, physically, into our instinctive self, also in such a synergy of exercises that you get to new stages of yourself in your self-development. Either you are just starting your self-development or you have done lots and think, okay, maybe it's over. No. So anyone who has a voice can do this. People who are coming, all walks of life, business people, people who do normal general jobs, cleaning jobs, housewife, whatever people are. Many people who are already in alternative healing and self-development are taking my workshops.
Love that too, because it's not just, you don't have to be broken. Now, broken's not the right word, but you know what I mean. It
Yeah,
can be, it's more a wherever you are, go to your next level.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then you can go, once you're there, you can use
because
it again to go to another level, another level, another level. It's a
exactly.
continual growth.
Yeah, exactly. Because I could mention so many ailments and sicknesses, and it covers it all, physically, emotionally, yeah, mentally, on all these, spiritually, on all these. It's from the very beginning, it's really heightening your self-esteem, your ability to be in your true, authentic power, to stand for what you are. Already in a weekend beginners workshop, people can, they say, by the way, this is a weekend I've never experienced before in my life. I can stand for myself. I'm being heard. I can express my suppression. I dare to do it. I don't need to carry my chronic headache or lower back pain or whatever any longer. I have tools now to start to unravel and dismantle all this physically and emotional. That's a key. It's not a shortcut to bypass the heart. It goes through the heart where all our emotions, all these emotions that many people doesn't want or can deal with because they haven't learned how to operate in the emotional body. Oh, it's so big, my grief. I could cry for hours if it just had its ability to just stream, or the anger or frustration or judgment, whatever it is, sabotage, victimization, abandonment, and so forth. So I hold that safe and clear, sacred container so it's safe to go wherever you go and only go as far as you can handle yourself. And I guide in workshops, I guide everybody, no matter how many people are showing up. It's like I have these intuitive skills to really sense into everybody where they're at and then bring them further. And the voice, the sound itself is the teacher. The more you listen, the more it will guide you further and further. But you need to have exercises and technique to do it properly and not do it wrongly, because sound is creative and destructive.
Why is sound so creative and destructive?
Scientifically, it's proven, and so it is, that we are a vibrational energy. Our whole nervous system, every cell has a sonic vibration. So everything can be, you could say, measured in sound. All experiences we have gone through in life has a record, has a sound vibration. It's very powerful to come in, to become, you could say, this light or this enlightenment that is beyond the sound, because you become more and more the light, you become more and more the sound, you become more and more in contact with your water flow in your body. So we can influence the whole system with the sound, because it's our DNA, it's our makeup that we consist of. And as I talked about before, that the sound, if you have the right technique and exercises, combine all our four brains, our reptilian, the limbic, the neocortex, the higher consciousness brain. I have created these techniques over these 4 decades that I've done the work, in order for the Western world to really understand that this, what we have forgotten, the healing tool in our own voice, need to be awakened, pioneered back. This is what the indigenous people also, in their own natural, organic way, has been into for eons, right? So it's a very organic, natural tool, but it does need to have specific exercises in order for you to come in there and get it moving, get it rolling.
Absolutely. I mean, because we can all just sort of sit in a room and, I don't know, scream and shout, but that's not
Exactly.
going to be effective. So, and I love this because it's so many people don't like their voice and the
Yeah.
sound of their voice.
Yeah.
So how do you do it in groups? Is it one-to-one? How does that all work?
Personally, do not do private sessions any longer unless it's really needed. I have approximately 100 certified practitioners and teachers around the planet. And you talked about how does the suppression come out in such a way that people, they can monitor it. Like even in a beginner's workshop, I do the workshops and the certification programs, and the teachers that I've educated do also beginners workshops. You go in and you learn how to, we could say, give sounds to your own inadequacies or your own pain, whatever the pain is, physical, mental, emotional. But for that, you have to have guidelines. You have to, of course, first have warmed up your vocal instrument. That means also your emotional body coming into your vulnerability, your deeper sensitivity, your deeper listening, so that you can travel deeper and deeper into the layers and into the tissue and start to dismantle, unravel that what is there. It's a longer process to be, of course, professional and skillful in this. But to daily use, you learn a lot from just taking some session or a beginner's workshop to how you can monitor your own stress, your own well-being, your own depression, whatever is the issue, you can monitor that in your daily life already after having taken some sessions or a workshop, and use this forgotten tool that, by the way, the children, they know a lot about how to, they do it, they need to have guidelines, of course, and some boundaries from their parents as to not be too wild also, but we have forgotten that spontaneity and that access that they have to the subconscious. They use approximately, apparently, about 60% of the subconscious. We use 10 to 15 when we really get these structured adult beings into being civilized, right? Where the children, they have this incredible spontaneity, innocence, wonder, the joy to live life fully. And there's a lot we can learn from that. Also in the voice work, to just unravel our layers and our suppressions or our hidden agendas.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because you see children and they will express themselves freely. They don't have our hang-ups and our self-consciousness and,
Yeah,
trying to worrying what everyone else is
yeah,
thinking. They're just
yeah,
expressing. So
yeah.
you don't do you've got your practitioners who you've trained in this. So is it, if I was to do this, it would be one-on-one with a trained practitioner, or would it be in a group environment that the
Oh
practitioner is
yeah.
working?
Oh yeah, yeah. To become a professional practitioner, you first need to take beginner's workshop, a 2 days workshop, and a 5 days workshop, and thereafter you can take a 2.5 year professional training with myself for over 5 modules, each of 7 to 9 days. And then there's all the requirement, the documented sessions, the colleague sessions, and I create a lot tribal energy also. It's also shamanic based, what I facilitate in this way, very related to earth and earth's power and nature. But the tribe energy is very important for people to be supported and to really feel the unity and the collected energy. And right now, also on the planet, we need that more than ever, that you're not alone and it's not an ego trip as such. You really need to get your response, and all your colleagues become your teachers also. So all these exchange sessions, and to really learn the method and all the different techniques that I have set up for practitioners.
It sounds very comprehensive, and I love that you have that supportive community, because we're not on this earth alone. We're meant to be working together in
Yeah,
whichever form that is. So
yeah,
that's lovely.
yeah,
As a client, though, is the client work one-to-one? It's not in a group, because I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
wondering if I would be
yeah,
very self-conscious about what noises I would allow myself to make
yeah.
if I was in a group of other people, because it sounds like there is a level of vulnerability that
Absolutely.
as a client you have to be willing to go there and allow the practitioner to hold you in that space and keep
Exactly.
you safe, so that you're not falling off the cliff. You're actually moving through it in
Exactly.
a way where you're going to come to an outcome.
It's very true. Like so many people are so scared about just opening up and see what will come out. And then, of course, I educate the practitioners to hold this vulnerable space so sacred. Yeah. And as to doing it with a group of people, it's totally amazing and humbling to see people how they do take it step by step and how you can listen to your own sounds. So you don't need to take also these other sounds in that are in the room because it can be overwhelming. So I teach how you can keep your own self, your own boundary in a group setting also so that you can hear yourself and the group can support instead of distract what be overwhelming for you. And that's the same principle in the private sessions.
Do you have to know why you're coming to you, what you want healed, or is it simply, it could be a bit of both, but or is it simply just wanting to go to your next level?
I think many people, they have difficulties in accepting their voice, their power, their expression. The voice is a blueprint of who you are. The vibration, the tone of voice is so enormously important because it's our soul who, our heart who talks through that. And people experience that they are not fully in communication, they are not fully, we could say, confident with their voice, or they feel that they too often have something with their voice. The voice is not connected to their lower body, to their belly, to their heart, to their mental. They feel like they're cutting off the breath. We are, of course, sounding and singing through our breath. People feel like I almost cannot breathe, and this influences my voice, or simply they want to have a better appearance, more confidence. Yes, sometimes they have depression or sabotage issues or projection or whatever people are dealing with. It could be physical pains. And again, everybody gets so surprised. I had never thought that I could express these sounds. I had never thought that I could heal or get these issues cleared that I'm going with. And for some people, faster than slower. It depends, really depends on, of course, their own constitution and how willing they are to do the shifts, because it's not about pulling out whatever it is we have that is foreign to the body. It's about making the life changes or the changes in your life so that it doesn't come back after that you have the sound has released it, you have dismantled the energy, it has gone, whatever it was that you work together, so that the radiant self and stronger resonance, charisma, life urge, all the good qualities can more show in your life. But there are changes, right? You need to change. And that's also why we are stuck or why we have ailments, because there's something that needs to change. Sometimes it's very subtle, but we need, this is our development, become better human beings and
That's
sustainable.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you have to make those external changes. You can't keep putting yourself back in the same environment once you've done that inner work
Yeah.
and not expect to, sort of continue that pattern. You do need to make those external changes.
Yeah.
And so your program, as a client, is it, how long does it go for? How many sessions do you find? What does that look like?
A client comes to private sessions, it really depends on what the issues are. If it's 3 sessions, 5 sessions, 10 sessions. But sometimes that what is really the issues and the problems, if this comes over a weekend workshop, for example, lots can happen in these 16 hours. Later workshop is lasts. So the duration of being free, becoming more authentic, whatever it is that you wish for, being really in your power, And it can go on because it can be refined. You can become clearer and clearer channel. So many of people who want to really become a clearer channel of everything goes on to the practitioner training because they can sense this is synergizing everything, and I can really go there, and I want to serve. I want to serve humanity because this is why we're here. It's not only for those who are capable, huh? But there's also people who come with deep trauma, for example, and shall not be a therapist and heal that. So practitioners work with that as well. Step by step, we have to know that there are people who are like a turtle, very slow, and others are like a gazelle. It just goes really fast.
Yeah, and like you were saying before, it comes down to how willing a participant you are as well.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
how willing you are to allow yourself to be vulnerable, to trust
yeah,
the process,
yeah,
to trust your
yeah,
practitioner,
yeah,
that they will guide you through
yeah,
what you need to
yeah,
go through.
yeah. Our urge to live more fully and get off the blockage, and this what we know we don't need to carry any longer on any levels. Yeah.
So you must have worked with a lot of people. Are there
Yeah.
any standout ones, any stories that you can share about a particular person or maybe a couple of people who and the transformation that they've experienced?
I would rather say it in this way because this is always a question from an interviewer, I would say, which is wonderful. And I give sometimes examples. I don't know if I will do it now, we'll see. But I have worked in over 25 countries on the planet. When I do practitioners training in Europe and also the practitioners training that I'll soon do in Australasia, I also expect there'll be a full range of international people because people do travel from South America, from South Africa, from the East to come to my trainings, either in Europe or now also in Australasia. So each culture has their own, you could say, way of operating with the voice because of their cultural background. And I am so humble grateful that I can synergize this in a group energy and people can learn so much from so many different kind of not only personalities and souls, but also cultural background. And the people are in my workshops between in the beginning of their 20s to their late 70s. So this also gives an enormous spectrum of knowledge, of wisdom, of medicine to bring forward. The stories that practitioners and teachers are so multiple, and we have many case stories in my books about it. So I'll be reluctant to say one thing because, of course, I have worked with how to relieve people from anything, from their grief, from their chronic lower back pain, from their depression, and so forth. But one thing I can say is to the cases and what practitioners work with, it's not a mental method. It's a method that goes through the heart. You shall step by step come to know your heart and all the feelings and emotions behind it. That that doesn't mean that this is a fast track and we all feel differently and we have access to our emotional body so differently from any personality who you are as a personalities, and maybe women have more access to their emotional body, but in indigenous cultures many men, they can be as emotional as women, they can, but again, it really depends how deep you want to go and how much you need to touch in to the emotional body to clear your mental blockages and the negative beliefs and all this what you have in your luggage or whatever is the issue that you are working on. It's about knowing your sound language. You come into communicating in a new way through this sound language that humans, they have forgotten we have. Dolphins and whales, for example, they have this amazing sound language. Like the whales are the record keepers of all history. Don't we think we have to listen? They have the largest brain on the planet. They give these enlightened sounds out. They can be heard for thousands of kilometers under the water, like the song lines of Australia, where the indigenous people, they knew about how to track all this. Like the whales does that also underwater. Don't we think as human that there's something we have lost, something we have forgotten? There's this amazing healing tool that can do really miraculous healings for us as we do the inner works, as we open up to this voice.
So this part, this next little bit is the bit that, and this is for the the VAs, we'll talk about the workshop. So whether this gets into it or it gets cut out, we'll see, depending on the timing.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, Karina, that you do workshops and you have one coming up soon in Australia. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, they're coming up very soon. The first opening in a Soul Voice workshop is always about safety and confidence to yourself. Everything is shown in our voice. That's why it's so revealing. And it has to be playful. So the vocal exercises that I make people do from the very beginning is about embodiment of your voice coming into your breath so that you can sound with your inner chambers the whole way down to the fully deep breath. Use your whole body, including your spine and your upper abdominal muscles, your chest muscles, that everything can start to, you could say, move and resonate so that within a couple of hours you can feel I am sound vibration. Everything is starting to vibrate out to my fingertips and toenails and so forth. It's like you become that in your center, that vibrational energy, and you start step by step to open up to your sensitivity, your vulnerability, and your emotional body, and the consciousness and higher consciousness that are in our sounding as soon as we let go of the judgment and the over control. So as this has happened, so some hours, some cover hours with all kinds of various practices, you are ready to sense also what is it in my body that I need to tap into right now, an issue that I have, something that is nagging me mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We all have some kind of inadequacies, pains, or discomfort because that's why we're here on the planet, to reveal it all. And how can you unravel, how can you release that from your body yourself? So I give different guidelines. You also work with a partner so that you can be held and witnessed by somebody else to how to unravel this, how to dismantle, how to take it out of you, basically, through sound vibration. It sounds like a little bit by magic, but it is. But it's real magic. Because I work so much with grounding and boundary setting so you can do it also for yourself. Then, of course, there are healing exercises, sound healing, how you can send sound healing vibrations into another body. So you work in smaller groups, get experience through that, how you can literally give a sound healing sound more accurately or more sensitively into the body. Like we all know that healing sounds exist all the time. Mothers, they sing, or fathers sing lullabies for their children. We use it spontaneous again and again, a healing sound. But to go more directly into the body to heal various discomfort or whatever is in the body, or just to open more up and sense this vibrational energy is also happening in a Awaken workshop. What is also happening is that I work with, it's what I talked about in the beginning of this interview, therapeutic acting, how can we be more fully expressed beings and dare to stand there and show up and be who we are and just be proud of this, what is coming out of us. Of course, I give different assignments to this, but it's such a full-on, you could say, a rush going through you that you have to be taken by it. You don't have time to think, okay, can I do this? You are in it because everybody is in it. And then you can't imagine what is coming out of you because we often do only live 95%, or maybe some people are living 80% or 50%. Here you have to be 100%. And you have no idea what that means in therapeutic acting when you really express yourself fully and go beyond this, what is always our resistance, the fear. Fear about what? So you have to find out of that, your own discomfort, your own judgment, your own whatever, it's too big or whatever, and how to go through these fears and really navigate the journey. Beautiful group energy, very deep group energy, partner exercise, individual exercises, and whole collective group energy to really rise the vibration to a complete new level. And exercises people can do at home afterwards to further be sustainable to what they have learned.
Yeah, that's good to have those extra tools that you can take home because the workshop, how long does the workshop go for?
So the first weekend is a weekend workshop. So yeah, from
Yeah.
9 to 6 for 2 days. 9:30, I think, to 6, yeah.
So you'll get a lot from the workshop and then to have those tools to be able to take and continue
Yeah.
to practice. So who is this workshop for? Who's your ideal person?
I don't have an ideal person. Everybody can come. Who wants
So
to,
okay. So who
curious to use their voice. Yeah,
okay, let's
teachers,
just do that little because I'm sorry, I'm talking over you. So we'll do that again. So how can I put that then? So that's not so no, you don't have a specific person. So what I want to basically get is, who are you who's going to benefit from this? And I know you've said that, but do you know what I mean? I want to try and have something that says this workshop is for you if you want to do this sort of thing.
yeah,
So I'll
yeah.
ask, does that make sense?
Yeah, I think
So
there's many,
let me ask a question, but if you can have your answers sort of in that scope,
yeah.
so then they can have
Mm.
this because you might be able to use this for future workshops, just talking about it as well. I'm just trying to multitask it for you. So Karina, who is this workshop for?
Many walks of life. Anybody who are interested in improving their expression, being better in communication, any form of teachers, communicators on the planet, people who have any ailments, other physical ailments, back pain, headaches, whatever, chronic issues, even traumas, people who have emotional issues and do not even know maybe they don't have it, although they feel restricted sometimes in their heart or in their expression, or they feel their voice is not fully connected to their body and to their authentic self. People who suffer from being victimized, having sabotage, abandonment issues. People who are not grateful for the voice that they have, the tone of their voice, their unique tone of voice. People who can't find a direction in life. People who have stress, which today most people they have. And stress is the first key to any discomfort, imbalances. People who have yin yang issues, inner male, inner female issues. The throat is the bridge between the inner yang and the inner yin that is downward, which basically says it all. If we are inner yin and yang balance with ourselves, then we have much less discomfort or issues in our life. So checking in people where they are with their inner yin and yang. People who have, who think too much, who are too mental, people can't find, as I already mentioned, that direction in their life. Really, the Source method are synergizing, are really centering you so that you can come back to essence, to your guidance, to your true guidance, not a mental thing somewhere outside yourself, something that is deeply rooted and grounded inside yourself. So many walks of life, any categories of professions are welcome.
I love that. It's so, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's right on the tip of my tongue. But this has been such an interesting conversation, and I love that it can be applied to anyone, no matter where they are in their journey. And they don't have to know what they want. They just need to know they want to move forward. And it sounds like an incredible process to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to leave the listeners with?
I think we have covered a lot of information, and I think their cup is probably full, and I invite everybody to consider to work with their voice and their expression from the heart and from their soul, because it's so rewarding that you'll never regret to come into this. It's a huge step, quantum leap sometimes just to take the jump, but it's all worth it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Karina. I've loved our chat. And if anyone wants to get in contact with you or find out more about what you do, they'll just need to click on the links that are going to be below this video.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for your time.
Namaste. Thank you so much, Ellen.
You're welcome.
As we wrap up today's enlightening episode of the Pathways to Wellbeing podcast, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Karina for sharing her wisdom and her insights into the power of sound and voice as a healing modality. It is so inspiring to learn how deeply connected we are to our own vibrational essence and how unlocking our voice can be a gateway to profound transformation. To all our listeners, if Karina's work has sparked something within you, take the next step and experience the magic for yourself by clicking on those links below. At Sacred You, we are passionate about creating spaces where women from all over the world can connect, heal, and grow together. If you are looking for a supportive community that empowers you on your journey, join us. Be part of a global movement dedicated to self-discovery, transformation, and empowerment. Visit Sacred U's website to explore upcoming workshops, events, and community offerings. Check us out at www.sacredu, that's the letter U, .love. And as always, if this episode spoke to you, please subscribe to our podcast, share it with a friend, or leave us a review. This is your time. Your voice matters. Your healing is possible. Step into your power and let the journey begin. Until next time, stay grounded, stay inspired, stay connected, and remember, you are sacred. From our heart to yours, thank you.